Hi, and welcome to the NBA Economy Show. Um, we're definitely at an important day in the NBA calendar. Today is a free agency moratorium ends at 6 p.m. So basically, uh, teams can start signing players for real. So um, not only you can negotiate with your own players, you can negotiate with any free agents. Today we're gonna focus on the Knicks, but there are so many good storylines about certain players, longtime players, perhaps changing teams. If you guys want to talk about that, we could talk about that. But we're gonna try to focus on the Knicks. Um, where it is in the NBA calendar? Um, let's look here, and so we had our draft night recently. We've been in the moratorium for 5 days. So after that, now we're signing players. So for 5 days, players who had teams that had players on that could be extended or free agents have been able to discuss. They could sign, they could agree to contracts, but it's nothing official. Um, so if you're talking to a player, they've already talked to the team. Some teams may have even um, some teams may have set up some sign in trades. Some there may be some trades today. So this moratorium ending is big. We're going to hear a lot today. There's going to be a lot of player movement. Um, so what about our Knicks? We had our big news with the Mikal Bridges trade, which was announced on Tuesday. It has not been completed, so it's not official. Um, uh, what we're going to see in a minute is how it could be altered, and it being altered has a big impact in what the Knicks can do in free agency and the entire look of the team. Um, I'm gonna look at that real quick, and we can look at the Knicks status. So here in this little status report, um, we're not sure if the Knicks are going to be hard capped at the first apron or the second apron. This is basically if they can alter that. If they can alter the deal with Mikal Bridges, if they can add some more salary, perhaps even adding a third team, um, which I have under trades, um, they can be handicapped at the second apron instead of the first. So, an extra access to another $11 million. Um, to make that happen, there's some new. There are some new rules. There are some new rules with the CBA, so you can't stack minimum deals, which has seen a lot of people found out the other day. So adding Jericho Sims, adding um, these smaller contracts uh, doesn't make it larger, even though we're like 5 million off. So to add a third team, you're looking at probably Deuce McBride, or you're probably looking at Mitchell Robinson, and those are two big pieces of our team. You don't want to do that. But there's a little loophole we can do is we can sign and trade Precious Achua. So if we sign and trade Precious Achua to a third team, that would put that salary. Not necessarily that we're getting anything extra back. It's just that we're sending more out, um, and that would allow us to be at the second apron. That would allow us to re-sign Hartenstein, and we would have a small amount of money to spend in free agency. Uh, Sadly, we only have right now. We have 13 players on our roster. So if we re-sign Hartenstein, we only have one more roster spot. So you're looking at probably 5.2 million for one roster spot. This isn't going to be a big addition. Um, this is not going to be a big player that we're hearing move places. Um, yeah, with the free agency, we see there's a lot of players available. Um, a lot of good players available, but a lot of these aren't going to fit in $5-6 million. Um, with the new CBA or even the old CBA, doesn't go far. But perhaps you can get a veteran who's willing to take less for a championship, um, who might want that role. So we'll see. Um, we'll see. There's a couple names here. Valanciunas. Um, there's a few names. I'd be interested that are important, probably as for us to look at. Um, there's an outside chance Chris Paul doesn't come with a trade, and they put him out in the market. He's always said he wanted to play for New York. When he had the chance a few years ago, we saw that he it was a COVID year, and he said he didn't want to come because it wouldn't be exciting, uh, you know, during the COVID year since there were no fans. Could this be his swan song, and he wants to go out in the garden, mentoring uh, our players? We'll see. Um, Another name, Goga Bataze. If we do need um, a a third center or even a backup center, if Hartenstein does not resign, Thomas Bryant, same situation. Tristan Vucevic, who um, just got cut from Washington. That's another name you should look at. Also, James Wiseman. So that's a name a lot of people usually makes fun of him because he's a first round pick. He didn't really fit in with Golden State, but as a backup, could he could he be rehabbed? And that's something we need to look into. So our money available is going to be minimal. So we're going to have limited choices. Um, we're going to have limited choices, but this is going to be a good team. As we look here, um, the extension for Tom Thibodeau hasn't happened. That I'm not sure if there's a timeline on that, or if they're just going to go into the season. I know a lot of coaches don't like. A lot of coaches don't like to be on their last year. Um, they usually want to get extended before that. We see our four draft selections. Pacome Dadier at 24, Tyler Kolek at 34, Kevin McCullough at 51, Ariel Huckporty at 58. Um, I also have in here OG Ananobi's contract. We see yesterday Jericho Sims' option was picked up. I've heard with a lot of people, why didn't the Knicks, cut Sims and maybe sign a different minimum deal? So actually, since Jericho Sims had a $600,000 guaranteed, it would actually cost the Knicks more to cut Sims and then sign a minimum deal. So you're going to see his option picked up. If they don't like Sims, a lot of this can be rectified in December. In December, that's when they can start stacking minimum deals and trading them. Just right now, they can't do it. The CBA is made to take out loopholes. So in Hartenstein, we see he's opt out. Um, The Knicks can offer up to seven, like $16.4 million if they can extend that Brooklyn trade, and he's gonna have some larger offers. So he's gonna have to weigh the risk, the reward of going to a different environment versus the comfortability with the Knicks and taking less. If that difference is just a couple $1 million, maybe he'll stay. But if they're talking 20, the if they're talking $8 million difference, $9 million a year difference, nobody can blame Hartenstein for leaving. Um, Precious Achua, um, he's a he was a restricted free agent. What the Knicks did is they did not tender him a tender him an offer. Okay, you said my volume's a little low. Okay, so yeah, they did tender him an offer. So they didn't tender him an offer. So they didn't offer 6.4 million. That doesn't seem like a lot, but what it would do, it would prevent us from making that offer to Hartenstein. So the Knicks didn't do it, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that Precious can't return. He still can return. We just can't like match an offer. So if another team came off, 10 million a year, Knicks can say, "Hey, we'll match," and then you come back. If another team signed him, he's gone. But if you sign and trade him, and with him working with us, that works. Um, don't look for Alex Burks to return. Don't look for Dwayne Washington to return. Don't look for Daquan Jeffries to return. Don't Charlie Brown Jr. He's already renounced. Don't look for them to return. So those guys at the end of the bench are no longer there. I try to put in order the starters, the keys, and the bench. Um, so it looks like we have 13 players in place, and that's with putting Ariel Huckporty not on the roster. So having him play another year overseas or something, we would have two roster spots available, one possibly Hartenstein, and then we'd have to pick up another. Um, oh, nice to see everyone in chat. Oh, yeah, Orange Tears. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Um, yeah, Coach Sayar. Yeah, this is that time of year. This is that junky part of the year. There's so much going on, but we're so limited. The one thing about this free agency is I'm a little nervous because if Hartenstein leaves, all you would have is Mitchell Robinson, and Mitchell Robinson's health has been iffy. Um, we saw his post talking about about his health, but will the Knicks rely on that? Will Knicks rely on Robinson being the main person and just adding a backup, or will they do something drastic? Would they have to use maybe Deuce, maybe a combination to bring someone else in? That's what I'm nervous if Hartenstein doesn't return. We still have long term financial issues. We're looking at a Brunson extension where he can sign shortly. Will the Knicks? The Knicks most definitely would. If he would sign it, the Knicks would offer it. So, my only thing is when it comes to Julius Randle, what are they going to do with that? He certainly deserves an extension. He's underpaid. He could have had a max extension when he was up, like his second year here. He gave us a discount, but certainly he doesn't deserve to be discounted. and this is the prime. This is his prime. So this is his money making time. Will he even want an extension this year, or would he want to go for the the utmost next year, where he can get around 50 million a year? Um, that's something that probably can't happen on the Knicks. So if he wants to go in that direction, um, this is probably the off season where you pivot. You pivot, you make a change. Um, Fans wouldn't be happy, but you have to have your finances in order. In the NBA, it's no longer a time where you could just um, figure out later unless you're happy and you're winning. I don't think we're there yet. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? I definitely do want to say I'm very intrigued on Chris Paul. So Chris Paul, I'm intrigued if they can't pull off a trade. He's he and Leon are close. He's talked about New York before. If this is like a 1 year thing, a one off, I'm wondering if Chris Paul would come on a one off deal. Um, with free agency, since we only have two spots, we really need a backup. We really need a backup point guard. I know Tyler Kolek. Um, he looks promising, um, but you can't rely on him from day one. It could be one of those things where you test him out and see how he does, but from day one, I'm not sure if they're going to put that in his hands. Um, right now, we don't have a backup power forward either. It's a spot where you may put OG Anunoby um, as the backup power forward, or even Mikal Bridges at times, or even Josh Hart. I'm really intrigued to see how the Knicks are going to shuffle this, because I think, or 'cause they really need someone permanently there, because it works now where you could just put OG and Obi, but what if you have an injury, and then that's where it gets messy. Um, that's where we get messy. So I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen with the Knicks. Not only with the Knicks, what's going to happen with Paul George. Is Philly going to get him? Is he going to go back to LA? Is he going to give Orlando a chance? Orlando is one of those teams uh, where they're they're dangerous. They got cap space. They got an up and coming roster. Um, if they trade some of you know, their young guns with some picks, they could get some. They can get some real players. So don't look down on Orlando, because they could be contenders next year. That's all I have for now. Want to keep it short. All right. Thanks, Lawrence Tealers, Coach Sayars 617, New York Mets Lounge. Yeah, stay tuned. Please hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions, or leave a message. Okay, did you see the report of the Knicks engaging in talks for Sims? Um, no, I only saw the report of the Knicks um, picking up his option. I could see him as a trade candidate, like um, around the. Yeah, I could see him as someone would want at the end of the bench, and if someone is willing to give us a pick or even a second round pick, I can see the Knicks doing it. Um, I could see the Knicks doing it, because I don't think if the Knicks didn't have Um, if the Knicks didn't have a financial crunch, I don't think he would be back. I, I honestly don't think he'd be back. So let's see what the Knicks do. I'll update you. I'll probably be back on tomorrow to see what the first day does. Um, but certainly stay tuned. And again, hit me up on Twitter and have a good night. Peace.